What's up, everyone? It's Wild Pro, and I'm back with another deck profile. This song we showing off Chaos Malice, which is like a Malice deck, and even though there's no links, I just made it work by essentially just throwing them into a Chaos File deck, and then also just throwing in some Cyber monsters. But but yeah, kind of what the deck is. But also, as a reminder, this is for a Dueltainer format, which is a custom format. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave a link down in the description. And all that being said, let's just get started. Starting off with monster, we've got Mass P March here, which this one, when it gets banished, you pay 30 life points to target one of your magic cards, which will, most of the time will just be itself to add it back to your hand. Then you have Mass P Dormouse, which you can banish a mass monster from your deck to then for the turn, all your mass monsters gain 600 attack. Uh, then you have Mass P White Rabbit, which on summon lets you set a mass trap. And we have Mass P Chessy Cat, which once per turn you can bash a mass from your hand to draw 2 cards. And then all 3 of these have the effect where when they're banished, you can pay 300 life points to special them, but you are locked into linked monsters for the rest of the turn. And next up, got the Mathemax Circular, which by sending a Mathemax from your deck to the grave, you can special summon it, but you can only attack with 1 monster for a turn. And then you have Mathemax Sigma, which as long as there's no monster action mon zone, which there will never be, you can special summon it from your hand or grave, but then you are locked into Cybers for a turn. Then you have Mathemax Nabo, which you can tribute 1 Cybers monster, special summon Mathemax from your deck. That's about it. And then you have Mathemax Diameter, which once normal summon, you can start one of your level 4 Cybers monsters in grave to special summon it. Okay. And then we have Live Twin Ela and Live Twin Kisuko. Kind of just like they're light in the dark, so kind of helps for the chaos package. Then you have backup Agnister and Wizard Agnister, which they're extended, especially for like if you have a Cyber or Synchron field. Then you have Cyber Synchron, which can help for to the Cybers and to Anal Dark. And when like and also it can low modulate, so it can help with that for when going synchro place. And now, finally, for the Chaos Monsters, you got the White Dragon White Burster, which by banishing a Dark Monster from your grave, you can special summon it. And if it's sent to grave from field to grave, you get to add a Black Giant Collapse Serpent from your deck. Then you have the Black Giant Collapse Serpent, which you summon by banishing a white from your grave. And if it's sent to the grave, you can add the White Dragon White Burster. And you have Chaos Mirage Dragon, which you can target a light or dark monster as banished, special summon it, and then you're locked to light and darks. And also, for sense synchro material, you can banish cards from your opponent's field in our grave, depending on the number of non-tuners you use for a synchro summon. Then you have Core of Chaos and Shell of Chaos. These are the cards that will help you climb up to the Chaos Beta. Then, not the Chaos Beta, the Chaos Archfiend. And mixed up because the next card is the Chaos Spirit, which you summon by banishing a light and dark from your grave. And then once per turn, you can target 3 cards that can be summoned. And you summon it, and then you play a starter 2 in the bottom of your deck. And then we have the Black Blood Soldier. That's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. We have Maliss in the Mirror, which by targeting a face of monster your opponent controls, you banish a mask from your hand or face of the field. And if you do, you negate the monster's effect. And then if it's in the grave, turn mask in grave to banish it, to then add mass of the same type. Then you're sign up mining, you send a card from hand to grave to search for level 4 lower. There's Cyrus monster. Then you have Chaos Space, which by sending a layer dark monster from your hand to the grave, you get to add the opposite attribute. That's either low, that can be normal summon or set. That's between low 4 and 8 to add to your hand, and then you can band it to target something like your BLS to place it the deck and draw card, or by banish it from your grave. Then you assign it backdoor, which you target Cyrus and you control to banish it, and then you add a Cyrus from your deck with a lower attack, which is pretty good and can help search and then also possibly protect your monster from the mirror force or something like that. Then you have Chaos Zone, which gets a counter for each time a monster is banished, and then you can move 4 more counters to summon one of your banished monsters as though equal to the number of counters you remove. Then you can assign that rollback to target one of your banished Cyrus monsters, summon it, and if your life points are 2,000 or less, you can banish it to then target 2 of your banished Cyrus monsters, add them to your hand. Then you have Paladin Cyclone, and Paladin targets one a spell shot. On the field to banish it, and drop it, and negate drastic draw, which by banishing your monsters, you can drop 3 cards, which is pretty good, especially if you only have mouse monsters on field. Upstart Goblin, Hungry, and Graceful for some more draw. That's it for the spells. We on to the trap. Yeah, Massey GWCO6, where it lets you target one of your banished mouse, or if it's engraved to summon it. Then you have Massey MTPO7, which lets you search for a mouse from your deck, and they both have the effect where you can match the mouse you control to activate the turn you'll set. Then you have the Magma Abduction, which boosts up your Cyrus monsters by 500, and if you have control Magma, you decide to grade to target one part of your opponent controls to destroy it. Now you have Lostman, Drake Utopian Aura, and Dark Bribe for some negates, and then Quaking Mirror Force for protection, and then Chart Rabbits for recursion. That's it for the traps. Moving on to the spells. Yeah, I mean, not spells. Synchros. Chaos Beast, Chaos Archfiend, High Speed Roar Chambara, Coral Dragon, Firewall Saber Dragon, Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, Cyber's Quantum Dragon, HF Fairy Life Dragon, BPH Kindamore, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, Stardust Point Dragon, Geomathematic Magma, Enigmaster Packbit, Light Storm Dragon, and Ruddy Rose Dragon. And then as for the tiers, the A tier of the deck is Chaos Beast, Graceful Charity, Outer Greed, and 3 tiers. It is Chaos Beast, Chaos Archfiend, where is it? Chaos Mirage Dragon, White Dragon, whatever Burster. And I am trying to recall what is the final beat here. I know there was one more. Oh, now I remember. The Draco Utopian Aura. That's it for the tiers. And always do a quick testing, show you what the deck can do. And always, since this is a Dueltainer format, it is standard to do a half cut in a top 5. Oops. Sorry about the long wait. We'll be done just a sec. Just have to make sure it's really show real good. Since part of kind of just like aside from from like showcasing each like monster's spell checks. But I think this should be good enough like this. So we will have cut and top five. Like it's better going second. So we'll do just that. So starting here, sign it backdoor, the marcher, the sigma, then induction, induct by for starting five, and then the diameter. So like honestly, not that great exactly, but can make it work because what you do is you simply just so it might be wasteful. You can just summon diameter and then you summon and sigma by its personal effect. Then you sync for eight since sigma can't treat itself as a non-tuner for a mathematics. So you summon geomatic magma and then you just set these three cards. So you have Sand Factor, which will protect your magma, Induction, which gives your Cyrus 5 and stack, can like bribe, spell trap negate, eight, which this is not bad because I have played with like four different times, and most of the time you really are just finishing in your first turn with at least magma and induction on field. So it's actually not bad. And also I forgot most of my units fight it does get banished, unfortunately. But if anything, and if magma survives in your opponent's turn, anything is backdoor to then use magma to banish it to really get your plays kind of just going and just setting up your board. You search for Dormouse, and then during standby phase, magma will come back. And shovel 3, I get that draw. But I'll show you right now what we can do next. You draw. Oh, you end the way rabbit. That's nice. But basically, you just normal summon Dormouse, use its effect to then banish. Right here, it don't make sense. I just automatically just lock myself to links because this is more just like the setup. But you essentially banish Chessy Cat, and then you pay 300 to summon it. What you're gonna want to do next is you'll banish the white rabbit in your hand to draw two, and then you'll use white rabbit to summon itself, and you'll use effect. You will then end up setting the GWC. And because you got graceful, you draw once more because I'm drawing even more. I mean, I draw once more. I run out. We shuffle once more. And use graceful, draw three, which is Matt Nabla, Mazmir, pretty good, and Wyver Burster. You discard Nabla, and quite honestly, it's kind of sucks that you end up Wire Burster, but too bad. You can probably just discard the Wire Burster and these shoes and you restart your stuff. Malice and Mirror 2 as a negate. GW6 has a reborn. There's so many set Dark Red and Dark Red. And yeah, that's kind of how you do it. So you have two negates, tag boost, some recursion, and if you can keep Chelsea Cafield, you can continuously banish the March at each turn. So you got two more each turn. Uh, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.